Hello all, I'm Vindya working as assistant professor in the stream of computer science and engineering in the College of B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur. So today our topic is about tokens in C. Okay, what is a token? Token is the smallest individual part which cannot be divided it into further. Suppose if I write this a program, this hash becomes a token, include becomes a token, angular brace becomes a token, stdio dot h angular brace. All these are different tokens in a C program. Okay, so we have 6 tokens in our C program. The first one is keywords, next one is identifiers, operators, constants, strings, and special symbols. So let us discuss in detail about all these tokens. So coming to the keywords, keywords are nothing but those are predefined words. Okay, and then identifiers are used for naming the variable or a function or arrays or pointers, etc. Okay, and coming to the constants, as I said earlier, the constant will have a fixed value and that value cannot be changed throughout the program. So in constants we have numerical constant and character constants also. Okay, and then coming to the strings are nothing but the strings are the collection of characters and strings are represented using character array. Those are represented using character arrays. Strings are represented using character arrays as we do not have the specific data type to declare the string. We have to declare using character. So the collection of characters will become a string there. So to collect all the characters or to represent a string, those are collection of characters. The collection of characters can be represented only through arrays. Okay, and then coming to the special symbols, we'll have some special symbols like ampersand, asterisk, modulus symbol. All these symbols are special symbols. Each and every symbol has its own use in our C program. And then coming to the operators, operators are used to perform the operations. Okay, let us discuss in detail about each and every token in a C. So the first token is called as keyword. As I said, keywords are predefined or reserved words in a programming language. Right? They'll be having the particular meaning which is stored in the compiler. Okay, all these are 32 keywords. In C, we have 32 keywords. Auto, double, instruct, break, else, long, switch, case, enum, register, type def, char, extern, return, union, continue, for, signed, void, do, if, static, while, default, go to, size of, volatile, const, float, short, and unsigned. All these are 32 keywords. All these keywords will have its own predefined meaning. So you cannot use these keywords as a variable or as an identifier in the programming language. And according to the versions of C, the number of keywords differs. Okay, so in ANSI C, we have 32 keywords, right? And in the versions of C, in some other versions of C has 44 keywords, and in other versions like C23 has around 54 keywords. So it differs from the different versions of C programming language. Okay, so all these are keywords in our C programming language. The next comes identifiers. Identifiers are used as the naming of variables. They are used to name the variables or functions or arrays or pointers. Okay, so as we have memory location, suppose if I want to talk about a variable, we'll be having in the memory, we'll be having will be having many slots, right? So the address of this memory, suppose if the address of the memory is 1000, so if I want to retrieve the data, whenever I store the variable, the value of a is 5, whenever I store the variable, it directly goes to this 1000 value and it will store. So giving name to this particular memory location is a variable. Okay, so all these variables or functions or pointers comes under identifiers. Okay, so identifiers are used as the general terminology for the naming of variables, functions and arrays. Okay, so while we name variable, function or arrays, we have some rules to define an identifier. So we have some rules for naming identifiers. The first rule is they must begin with a letter or underscore. The identifier name should begin with either underscore or letter. Okay, and the second one is they must consist of only letters, digits or underscores. No other special characters are allowed. No other special character is allowed. Okay, it can be the combination of letters, digits and underscore, but no other special character is used except the underscore. Okay, and the next one is it should not be a keyword. As we have seen the 32 keywords in the just now we have seen the 32 keywords. A variable or an identifier should not be a keyword. Okay, as I said, keyword has its own predefined meaning. You should not use the keyword as the identifier. And the next rule is it must not contain white space. There should not, if I am naming the variable as roll number, suppose if my variable name is roll number, if I use white space when I name the variable, when I define or when I declare a variable, if I use the white space in between these two words, then this is not a valid identifier. Okay, so it must not contain white spaces in between. Suppose if you want to write two different words there, you just use underscore, roll number underscore roll underscore number. Okay, and then next comes it should be up to 31 characters long as only the first 31 characters are significant. If I write, suppose if this is my variable name or an identifier name, only first 31, if all these becomes 31 characters, only these 31 characters will be significant, and then later on those will not be considered as a part of this identifier. So only the first 31 characters are significant. Okay, what's the first rule? It must contain only the identifier name should start with underscore or letter. The next one is no white spaces, right? And the next one is it should be the combination of letter, digits and as well as underscore, but no other special symbols, right? And the third one is it should not be a keyword. Okay, except the keyword you can write any other name, but keywords are not used as an identifier. Okay, and no white space in between the words, and only the first 31 characters are significant. Okay, now let us see some of the valid or invalid identifiers. Suppose if I want to write a program on to print the employee details, there I have the variables like employee name, employee ID, employee salary, employee blood group, all those things, right? So let us write some of the valid and invalid identifiers. Suppose if I want to store the employee name as the name is a string, we must use a character array there. Okay, so this is also an identifier, right? So I have to use the data type as char here. So what is the identifier or the array name here? I have used employee underscore name. This is the valid identifier, right? If I use the same employee name as the variable has started with 1 or a digit, this is not a valid variable, right? And you can start the variable or the identifier name using underscore. This is a valid variable, right? If I use any other special symbols there, so this is not a valid identifier because I have used the dollar sign there, right? No other special characters should be involved in naming the identifiers, right? Suppose I can write this as a valid variable or identifier. This is the combination of digit, underscore and the letters. Yeah, if I start with any of the digits, then this will not be a valid identifier. And if I give any space between two words, so this will not be a valid identifier, right? And the other thing is C is a case sensitive language. This A will differ from small a. Capital A differs from small a. Suppose if I use employee 1 as one of the identifiers, and if I use employee 1 whereas E capital, both these two identifiers are different. Suppose if they are variables, both these are different variables. Both will have different memory location. So small e is, both these are not same. Both these are different identifiers there, right? So C is a case sensitive language. So all these are the rules for naming the identifiers. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.